Welcome to the Sales Cloud Masterclass, courtesy of AFD. My name is Emvin Vidola. I am the Salesforce Capability Lead of AFDigital. I'm based in the Philippines. I've been doing Salesforce since around 2013. I've been doing consultancy work for around 14 years. And I'll be doing this session with Nicole, who is currently out right now, and but she will be available in the next few sessions. And then we also have Patty. Pat, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yep. Hi everyone. So I am Patricia Palican. So I am working as a business analyst here in AF Digital. I've been using Salesforce for almost 5 years. So that's it.
All right, thank you, Pat. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so our masterclass session. So we just had a quick introduction. We'll go to a very brief overview on what Salesforce is, what are the different Salesforce clouds that are available. Then we'll go on focus on what we can do with Sales Cloud and how to actually do it. We will have a demonstration on how to configure Sales Cloud in Salesforce. Next slide, please. All right. So what is Salesforce? Salesforce is a CRM. CRM is about is a customer relationship management. So Salesforce is a tool that helps you manage and enrich your relationship with your customers. So it's about having. So if you've been using Salesforce or you're into CRM, your company is probably having that. Laser like focus on pleasing your customers, or you're focusing on the needs of your customers, and you're focusing on uh, delivering service or delivering products that cater to their needs. And a lot of it is based on understanding your customers. And you probably heard about customer 360, which practically allows you to have that 360-degree view of your customer, whether it's digital, online, face to face, and having that control on your sales process. And Salesforce is the best at that, and they have been the number one CRM in the world for, I think, past 6 or 7 years already. And it's a great tool to have, especially if you have a team that is working together. You're into team selling, you're into collaboration within the company. So Salesforce is a great uh, tool to assist you in your sales process. So if we proceed to the next slide, but Salesforce is not only the Sales Cloud. So there are already different products. So you have your sales, which really basically takes care of your sales process, your accounts and contacts. You have your after sales, so, which is in the Service Cloud, which takes care of your customers once you've already converted the sale. You have your marketing cloud. It's focused on your marketing efforts, getting ROI, and all these channels. So you have your community cloud, which could be with your partners, your suppliers, or it could also be serve as like a portal for your customers. You could provide self-service portals. You could expose knowledge, FAQs to them to do self-service. You can also use that community to be able to create tickets or cases wherein they could inquire about products. They could inquire. They could book an appointment with you and things like that. There are also other apps that are available in App Exchange, which just makes which also uses, which is part of the Salesforce platform. Therefore, anything and everything here in this slide seamlessly integrate or works very well together. That also includes IoT and Quip. Quip is very is a team collaboration tool. It's much like your what could it could be compared to Slack or maybe OneNote that is shared in a Microsoft team. What the If you set it up, Quip, you could even have your the things that you've discussed in Quip while working together with your team could the details could also be seamlessly integrated into Salesforce, and it feeds into your maybe accounts or contacts or even your opportunities. So all these things, I guess the beauty of all these things is so the Salesforce family or the Salesforce HANA, they keep on growing. There's also Salesforce Einstein, which is technically the AI uh, component. You have your data intelligence also in Datarama. So there are several products, and that and usually the first one is first one you onboard with Salesforce with is the service or the sales or marketing. So in for those other clouds, we are also planning to conduct several master classes on how to take advantage of those and maximize your Salesforce investment. So for this particular session, we are focusing on Sales Cloud. So in a nutshell, what is Sales Cloud? Pat, can you go to the next slide, please? Okay, so what is Sales Cloud? So Sales Cloud allows you to close more deals, get more leads, convert more leads. It accelerates the productivity of your sales team. It also allows you to make insightful decisions. These are uh, the main benefits of using Sales Cloud, the Sales Cloud product of Salesforce. And a lot of it is contact management, management of your opportunity. It is important to have to have your sales path properly configured or set up in the system. Uh, you can also engage your clients. It's about team selling, allows you to manage your leads, qualify them, provide lead scores, so that you just become more efficient with the data that you have. You also have productivity tools like the Lightning Dialer, the mobile capability. You can put some automations, approval processes. You can have that sales console. You can integrate with your email so that you don't have to shift from one app to the other. You can also sync files and uh, again, the reports, dashboards, you have a forecasting tool already available, and it's easily implemented. You can turn on your pipeline reporting to give you a better view of what you currently have. And you can also have analytics embedded in Salesforce Sales Cloud. Uh, I think I'm gonna pass. I am gonna stop here. Pat will continue with the class.
All right. Thanks, Emvin, for that introduction. So for the next part of our agenda, so we will now discuss the Salesforce Sales Cloud features. So Salesforce Sales Cloud has different functionalities and features, which for today we will be focusing on the first three: the lead management, the account and contact management, and the opportunity management. So for the next sessions, we will discuss the mobile workflow and approvals file sync for the second session. Then for the third session, we have the reports and dashboards and sales forecasting and pipeline. So for our day one, let's just define first the terms that we will be using as well as the functionalities that we will be discussing. So um, we will have a demo for the lead management. So the lead management helps to track leads from click to close while continually optimizing your campaign across every channel. So inside lead management, we will discuss on how we can create leads from web, like from your company website. We can discuss the lead scoring and qualification, and we will discuss the lead deduplication. So Web to lead is lets you create web to lead forms that capture information about your visitor to your website. While lead scoring and qualification, these are criterias or characteristics that will help your sales reps classify a lead by the degree of its willingness and readiness to buy on your company. Then for the lead deduplication, this defines what happens when a user views a record with duplicate or starts creating a duplicate record. So here we can minimize the duplicate records that we will input in our Salesforce app. Then we will also discuss the account and contact management. So this helps to have a complete view of your customers. So we will be discussing account hierarchies. Hierarchies displays accounts related via the parent account field. This can help show the relationships between parent account and their subsidiaries. Then so for that one, the account hierarchies is not applicable for our scenario. So I will just give an example for this one. So an example of it is, for example, we have a client that have several remote locations. So for us to easily identify the relationship between those accounts, we can create a parent account and link the child accounts, which are the remote locations. So it can be, for example, our company is AF Digital, and we can create a parent account AF Digital, and its remote locations can be AFD Australia, AFD Philippines, or AFD Singapore. So in this way, we can easily classify how are those accounts related, instead of they are just created separately without any relationship. Then we will
I think
also
another,
dis
sorry,
yes,
Pat. So
sure.
another, I think another example of using the use of account hierarchies is when you have when you're working with conglomerates. So it's a group of companies, and there's that parent company. So as a sales team or as a company, you may want to leverage on having that relationship with the entire group instead of just focusing on just one. So that's also another use of account hierarchy. Yo, Pat.
Okay. Thanks for that. So next one under account and contact management will be the person accounts. So person accounts is used to store information about individual people by combining certain account and contact fields into one record. So the limitation of the person account is they can't be used in account as account hierarchies. Then for us, so this is not readily enabled in our organization. So for us to enable this one, we have to contact support, Salesforce support, log a case to Salesforce support, and once it is enabled, it can't be disabled. So we have to think if we will really use person accounts. Then
And I guess the
next, yep.
decision to build or to activate person accounts is really the business model of your company. So whether you are working in B2B or B2C, that's the primary consideration. If you're working both with B2B and B2C, it can coexist in Salesforce as well. So it's possible to have both. Thanks.
Mhm. Okay. Next one is account teams. So account teams is a team of users who work together on an account. So this is used to track collaborations on accounts. So for example, there are few users working on that account, which includes the sales rep, sales manager, and the pre-sales consultant. So with account teams, we can easily communicate directly from the account record, which can help us to view the customer if there are any updates on and the history. So so that we can see the activities or actions that that been already done. So that's for the account teams. So while for contact, So this is used to store information about the people you do business with. It is usually associated with an account or an opportunity. So this is used, for example, your client is, for example, a company. So in a company, you are communicating with different employees. So you can use the company as the account, and you can add multiple contacts who are you multiple contacts with the employees who are you communicating with. All right. If
Another
you, yeah, sure.
So another use for contacts is you have your different contact roles. So you can also assign a role for each of the contacts in a particular account, which means you could identify, is this contact a decision maker? Is this contact a an influencer? Or is this a user, or who would be the one, are they from the purchasing department? What's great about having those information is, if you get, say, a new sales agent that gets to join your team and you assign them this account, those information are already readily available. They don't have to go somewhere else to find out, who do I talk to, who is the main contact person. So having that link between contacts and the contact roles in the account is a very good way to use your Salesforce, your Sales Cloud. Okay, Pat.
Yep. So now what is the difference between the leads and accounts? So leads and accounts, lead is typically a prospect. So it's a potential customer that you will do business with. So as soon as your for example, sales reps establishes a relationship and qualification took place, then the lead can be converted to account, contact, or opportunity. So on the other hand, an account can be defined as customer which is willing to do business with you or already doing business with you. So yeah, that's the different that's the difference of leads and accounts. Then for opportunity management, this will help you to have a complete view of your deal. So we will discuss each functionalities later: the sales stages, opportunity teams, products, price books, and quotes. So if you have any question, just please chat it so that we can answer you. Then yeah, so that is for our day one. So for our demo flow, so we will start by filling up the contact us form in a company website. And for example, the customer wants to request for a quotation. So our industry is, for example, we are automotive. So we are selling motorcycles or motorcycle services. Then after filling up the website form, um, the second part is it will customer must receive an auto response email, and a new lead must be created in Salesforce. Then third step is the team will have her collaboration and opportunity planning to check the lead or on who will work on that specific lead. Or yeah. Then next is, once we already planned who will work on that lead and establishes the communication between that lead and the sales representative, we will now go into step 4, which we will fill up opportunity and create quote record. Then we have a approval for the quote. Then quote will be generated and sent to the customer. Then once customer receive the quote, receive the proposal, and he or she, Patty, approve that one. It's so it we will now award the product, or yeah, the contract to him, and we will now proceed closing the opportunity and creating the contract and order. So for today, we will be until step 6, and for the next session we will discuss the other steps. So yep. So now I think the next part of our this agenda is we will now go into Salesforce to demo to you uh, the flow that we've discussed earlier. So let's start. So first is we will start by creating a lead from web. So I have ready here with me the web to lead form that is generated from Salesforce. So this is the HTML form that will be generated by Salesforce, and this HTML will be the one that you will add into your contact us or into your company website. So let's try filling up this form. For example, is I am the customer Pati Palican. Then mobile is just sample mobile number. Then
Yeah.
email, I'll use my
Okay. Yeah.
email address.
Okay, Pat. So if I may just add, so this is so at the back of this is an HTML code that is automatically generated in Salesforce. You just have to create, make sure the fields are created. If it's not a standard field, you can create a custom field. When you are doing these kind of forms, we typically limit it to maybe a maximum of 8 fields because you don't really want your customers to be filling up a lot of fields before they could actually submit it. And usually in our implementation, you can also, so this HTML code generated from Salesforce is given to the website developer or webmaster, and then they embed it in your website. Okay, Pat.
Yep. Yeah, so that's right. We must make sure that the fields that we need is already created so that we can add it into our web to lead form. So say for example, this product interest, so I've created this one as well as the your location and planning to purchase in. So for example, the product interest will be C400 GT. So this is a motorcycle um type. I'm not sure what the term is. So location for example is Alabang. Um then planning to purchase in is let's say within 30 days. Then once done, let's just click the submit button. Then an automated email reply must be sent to me as well as the lead record must be created in Salesforce. So as you've noticed, once we submit, after we submit the record, it directed me to AFDigital .com's website. So that is also we can also configure that on the back end on what will be the site you want to be redirected after the customer submit the form. So let's now check um, here if the lead is created. So here you go. So lead is created, Pati Palikan, populating the fields that I filled up earlier, the product interest, alabang within 30 days, and so on. Then I must receive also an email regarding on this update. So this is the email. So hello Patty, good day. Thank you for your interest. So that configuration we will discuss it later. Then next, as you can see, the lead record owner is Motor Ace Alabang. So it's not really assigned to a name. So it's assigned to a queue. So what is a queue? It is a set of users who can particularly own a record. So this queue assignment can be configured back end as well um, to assign this lead record to the correct dealership based on what the user input, for example, in the location. So for example, the user input Alabang. So um, the queue as well. We've set up assignment rules that will identify if user input this location, it will be assigned into the nearest dealership. So anyone who is a member of that queue can accept the lead and start working on it. So also, um, we also have this lead score here in our lead page layout. Lead score helps us to prioritize, help sales reps to prioritize and see who are the lead that has a high chance of buying our product. So if we see Patty is of, or for example, a qualified lead, then we can already start converting her as accounts and opportunities. But these
So
leads,
before
yep.
we, sorry, Pat. So before we convert the lead, so you can also see at the top portion that there's the lead path. So when we are doing implementation, so not all businesses or not all companies treat leads this way. So the usual question is, what's the difference of a lead and a contact? So a lead could just be a name and a number, or a name and an email address that inquired maybe to your website, or you probably got in a fishbowl of business cards in a marketing event. So you can load those in the system, and you can see, so you can customize your lead path, but the very basic is this way. So there's a new lead. Have you reached out to this lead? And when you do that, have you asked what kind of products they're interested in? So that's part of your lead qualification process. So you can capture the notes in the section right side. So you can create a new task. You can log a call that you've done. You could send an email. Everything from Salesforce, and then it could be it could end up whether you're converting the lead or not. And I think Pat would also describe how to do that.
Mm-hmm, right. So for the next one, we also, by the way, have the duplicate rules. So this one was mentioned earlier. This is to avoid uh, duplicate lead records. So yep. Then, for example, you already contact your lead, then you can just change the status so that your team already know that someone is already working. Also, you can change the lead owner to your name so that yeah, you already own this lead. So for example, one of the motor is Alabang queue member is Emvin. I can search Emvin from here and assign this lead to him. Then, for example, I am Emvin. So by the way, I am my profile right now in Salesforce is system admin. So I have the system admin is the super user in Salesforce, so I can do any configurations right now. But um, yep, we can limit. By the way, the configurations that we can have for each individual user. So, for example, I am Emvin Vidola. I am the sales representative, and I already reached out to Patty Palican. So, I will now change the status from open not contacted to working contacted. Then just mark it as completed. So once we already establish the connection and we think that this lead would likely to buy our product, then we can now convert this one to accounts and opportunities. So we can do that by going to the convert button here in the right upper right section of your layout. Then on the convert page, we can see that there is an account and opportunity. So we have the option, for example, this lead, for example, create again an inquiry. So we can just, instead of creating a new account record, we can just choose the existing if she if she already had her account. So since this is her first inquiry, we can select the create new, then just leave it as is. Then we can also create the opportunity, and we can add um in the opportunity name on what is the product this user is interested in. So this is just for us to easily identify the specific product that he or she is requesting for a quote. Then the converted lead status will now be changed to close converted. And the record owner for the account and opportunity will be Emvin Vidola. So let's now convert. All right. So once converted, we can now see that there is a person account and opportunity record created, and the leads that we created earlier will now be removed in the system. So it's now person accounts and opportunities. So once we go back to the lead, we can see the lead here again. So now let's proceed with let's check the account that was created. So this is the account that was created, Pati Palican. So here are so what I've configured earlier is just the fields, that is the account name and the location in the conversion. So later we will discuss as well on how how we can configure to map the leads fields to accounts fields. So on the accounts, yeah, on the accounts we've mentioned that we have the account hierarchy, but this is not applicable for our scenario. We have also the on the related tab, we have here the possible related records. So the opportunity that was created was already attached into this account. So we can easily see, for example, there are multiple um, the client Patty want to purchase multiple products, so we can see all the opportunities here um, on the related list. Then cases, notes, and attachments, if any, then partners and the account team. So the account team, as I mentioned earlier, is the group of people working for this account. So we can just add team member here, then search for the name, for example, Nicole Valerio, and the team role. Then we can give this we can give Nicole access, either read or write on the account, or on the case and the opportunity access. So in this way, Nicole doesn't have an access yet on this record. So right now what we are doing is we are giving her access to see this record. Then we also have this new task here, like what is in the lead record. We can um, log tasks that we've done if we email the customer, or anything that we've done, communicated with customer. Then we can also email from here and log a call. Then, yep, yeah, that's it for the accounts. So next part is the opportunity. So now we will proceed on the opportunity record. So we can see, once we open the opportunity record, most of the fields is populated here from the leads. So we have the account name, the interest, the location. Then we have the close date, which is automatically populated. We have the stage, and we have the probability. So this is automatically once you create the opportunity, this is automatically populated to qualification stage, and probability is 10%. So probability depends on what is the stage of qualification. So there is a certain percentage for each stage, for each of our stage. Then we can see here as well the products that the customer will purchase. the history of when we've updated the stage of this opportunity, the quotes, the approval history, and the opportunity team. So opportunity team is just um, like the account team as well. Then all right. So our next step is we will now add the product that that the customer is interested in. So when adding a product, we can see here the add price book and the choose price, the add products and the choose price book buttons. So choose price book, we have multiple price book here. We have the standard, the June promo, and the July promo. So say for example, this specific C400 GT product, the price of this one is 400,000. So that is the fixed price. But we know that um on this industry we have different promos every month. So I've created different price books. So for example, in June promo, um for example, we've less the price to 20,000 pesos, so it's now 380 for June promo. Then for July promo, there's a different again amount for this specific product. So in this way, this can help the sales representative to have a uniform, or to lessen the manual typing of the amount of specific product that the customer is trying to purchase. So
Yep. And then, sorry, Pat. So,
sure.
so this is something unique in the use case that we're presenting. So, if you're into selling motorcycles, and then you have different branches and leaderships. So, usually every month you have a promo, and part of it is rolling out to your sales representatives. To make sure, so not everyone is in one place. It's each one has its different location. So instead of maybe creating an email advisory and sending it to the email addresses of everyone, you could already configure that price book in Salesforce, so that when they go into the system and they're trying to sell and they're having that conversation with their target client or target customer, uh, you could already apply if you have any discounts or you have any promos. It could be automatically applied, and your sales agents would be able to use that right away. Okay, fine.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Thanks for that. All right. So for now, we will select, for example, the June promo for this product. So since it's June this month, then save. So once we already select our price book, we can now add our product. So for our June promo, we just need to search for the product that the customer is inquiring. So this is the C400 GT. So um we will just select this product, then click next. So we just need to input the quantity of this product, of how many will the user um will buy. So let's input one. Then let's leave the following fields blank for now, but we can input the discount here and the low down payment. So depending on what is the promo, that what other promo that you can offer to your customer. So once save, you can see that the amount and the expected revenue here is automatically populated. So the amount is 565,250 based on the price, the June price, and the expected revenue is the 10% of the total amount. So we can configure that if you have a different formula for your revenues. Then after so we already have our um our product added. Then now we will now proceed to the quote. So we okay. So now we can see here that in the stage history there is a change from the the amount and the revenue. So is also captured here. Now we will now proceed to the quotes. Um, so in quotes, we just need to populate this, for example, the quote name. So we can just copy the opportunity name, for example, this one. Then, so this is just for us to easily identify the our quote name. Then leave other fields as default, then click save. So once save, we can see that the quote details here, the quote line item, which is the product, is also there is also a quote line item created based on the product that we've chose earlier from in the opportunity, and the other fields are also synced from the opportunity record. So including the opportunity name, the account name, subtotal. So we didn't put any discount, so it's 0, total price, and the grand total. So once we already have the quote record, we can now, for example, we need to submit this one to our manager for approval. So submission, so we just need to click again the button on the upper right of your screen, then submit for approval. So as you notice, once you submit this for approval, you can see that the status of um, the code is now in review stage. So once you approve, it will automatically change to approve as well. And um, once you reject, then it will change to rejected as well. So for example, I am the approver. So I am Emvin or Nicole. I am the manager here. So I will be the one who will approve the record. So I must receive an email that, hey, there's a new approval that is assigned on your end. So I must receive an email regarding on that. So here it is. So we can configure that in the workflows and approvals. Then, for example, since I am the system admin and for the interest of time, I will not log in as other users. So I will just approve this code. So there. So once done, once the code has been already approved, we can now create and email the PDF file to our customer. So there is a field here, the email code field. Wait. We can click also the create PDF for us to see the template and the fields that are that are here for us to check if it's correct. So we can also save this one here in the code, and we can email it right away to the client. So now we can here we see the opportunity details and the product price details. Then now we will save and email code. So there. Then so right now I am emailing it to pat.palican at afdigital.com. So I must receive this code file on my email. Then send, attach, and send. So there. Let's check my email again if we already received. So here it is. So this is the standard template. So we can also configure that standard template depending. We can add logo, we can remove fields or add fields. Then so we already send it to the client. We can now move to the next stage, which is the presented. stage. So for the presented stage, we will go back to the opportunity and move this stage, for example. So by the way, in the opportunity, we have this guided selling, we have the qualification. So this is for the sales representative to easily to have guidance on what they need to populate, or what they need to follow up with the client to win this opportunity. So um so we can move the stage now to the negotiation and review. So once the customer already accepted it, then we can already change the quote status to accepted, then as well as close the opportunity. So close the opportunity, we will select this as close one. So once done, we can see here that the close stage is now close one, then the probability is 100%. So that is a simple sales process. So now I know we are running out of time, but we can discuss the back-end configuration on how we configured those. So let's start from the web to lead. So in web to lead, I will go to setup. Then from setup, I just need to enter or search here the web to lead. Then from here, there is an option for us to create a new web to lead form. So what I've created earlier, so I cannot edit the HTML. I can just add a default lead creator, and I can just add a default response template. So this is where I configured the automated response when lead has been already created in Salesforce. So I will now try to create a new lead. So these are the fields. For example, we will select all the fields that we want to be displayed in the HTML or in the web form. So let's just use the default one. Then here is the return URL. So once you already configured your fields, then you can select what is your return URL. So what do you want to be displayed after the customer submits its leads? So we can also add reCAPTCHA here. So, but for now, we'll just remove it, then generate. So once generated, here is the HTML template. So how can we test this one? We just need to copy this HTML template in our notepad. Then to test it, just like what I've done earlier, we can just save this one, then web test.html. Then let's try to open again the web test, and let's see the web to lead that we've created. Open with Chrome. So here, so these are the first name, last name, email, company, city, and state and province. So let's test if it's already working. So let's try using my name again. If let's see the duplicate rules if it will work. Company is AF Digital, city is, for example, Alabang. Then we can leave fields as blank since it's not required. So there. Let's check if the lead is created here. Mhm. Let me just check it from the other related list. So this one, yeah. Oh, sorry. So I just forgot that we already converted the lead earlier. So it's not so it's duplicate rules doesn't detect it because there is no already duplicate lead record. So yep. Then yeah, this is the
Yeah.
lead
So
that we
what's gonna happen?
generated.
Yep. So what's gonna happen in this type of situation is, so if this new lead gets converted, it can actually be mapped to an existing contact. So if you remember in the demo, while Pat was doing the demo earlier, she created a new contact record. So here, so if this person, it's the same person, becomes a lead again, you can actually map it. Okay, we
All right.
can with a configuration.
Okay. So next so we have already have our lead created, then we have the case the lead duplicate, the lead scores for us to identify what is the leads that we want to prioritize. So how it is configured. Let's go to the object manage.
Yes,
Sorry.
but actually there's a question that's related to the lead score. So the question
Mm-hmm.
is, how is the lead score calculated and who sets the score?
Yeah. Okay. So we'll discuss it now. So lead scores are calculated based on their criterias. So we've used different fields for us to calculate it. So for example, um, we've used lead source, lead status, lead location, the need, or the plan when the user wants to purchase it, and the rating as well. So so for this example that what we've done, we see that it's just 1 star, right? So it's this depends, for example, in the lead source. So lead source is not populated. So we have a scoring of 1 and 0. So this just depends on how you want it to be formulated. So on this example, we've scored it 1-0. So for example, lead source comes from web. So if lead source comes from web, we can score it 1. Then if it's blank or other value, we can score it 0. So since it's blank, then the backend calculation is 0. So I can show you the formula here. Um, Here is the formula. Oops, sorry, the lead source here. So if the lead source here in what we've done is purchase lease or partner referral, then the lead value will be 1. So since
So
it's
yeah,
blank,
so
yeah.
yeah, so in other words, you can configure it based. So the criteria could be based on how you want to score your lead. So it can be configured by based on the fields. Like for example, the lead source. If it's web, you get +1 or +2, and that could be dependent on your reports. Maybe if it's a lead source that's coming from the web, you have a higher conversion rate since they're the ones who show interest of you or you're having closed won rates if the lead source is coming from the web. So you could put a premium on that, so you could score the lead higher. So and then I think we've also mentioned that Salesforce has Einstein Analytics, which can actually has the Einstein scoring feature. So
Mhm.
other than just your criteria, it can help suggest on the scoring. We just couldn't we don't have the Einstein scoring here in our demo org, but it's also highly possible to use like your predictive intelligence for that.
All right. Yeah, we can use Einstein analytics as well in helping us to have a lead qualification. So, right. Yeah, we've used lead score, for example, the location and status and rating. So, so the back end. backend formula for the total sum will be the value of the source, the status. So it will just add the five fields that I've used as a criteria. Then depending on what is its sum, then it will display how many stars it is. So we can do different configurations on this based on our preferred criteria. Then for the for the conversion mapping, how can we map the leads to accounts and opportunities? We just need again to go into the lead object. So in setup, object manager, then find the lead. Then in the fields and relationships, we can see here the map lead fields. So map lead fields, here we can see the lead fields and the account fields. So for example, we have the lead status and we want to add it in the account. We just need to search for the field name. So we don't have lead status field in the account. That's why there is no option. There is no valid option. So for example, we have the product interest in the lead. Then we can map it in the account if we have the product interest field. So here it is. So that's the way we can map the accounts, contacts, and opportunities on conversion. So it's just the same layout. All right. Then for the lead duplicate rules, so let's just finish the configuration for the duplicate until the leads topic. So we can just search here duplicate rules and matching rules. So there is already an standard Salesforce duplicate rules and matching rules created. So we just need to activate those. So in our end, there is already activated duplicate rules. So for us to see what is the standard Salesforce matching rule, we can just open the matching rule. Then we can go to more info for us to view what are the criteria that they are looking to tell that, hey, this is a duplicate record. These are duplicate records. So we can select from there. If we want to avoid the user to create the record, we will stop the user in creating that record, or just a warning sign that it's saying that, hey, there's a duplicate record here that maybe you want to see. So here are the matching equations. So we have the standard lead matching rule. If the first name, last name, and title and company are the same, then it will throw an error that there is a duplicate record as well. Or if the first name, last name, and email are the same. So
Yeah,
yes.
so these are the standard combinations that we're using, but it can also be configured according to how your company defines what is a duplicate.
Mhm.
So we have 1 minute left. Uh, I guess we can stop here for now. We will continue in our next session. We hope that you learned something. We also have other master classes that are still ongoing. One is done by our CEO, Robin Leonard. He is doing a master class on how to do a customer experience architecture. And we also have a RDOT masterclass that is ongoing. I think there's around one session left. But if you are interested, you can sign up by going to www.afdigital.com. Again, our hour is up. Thank you very much for joining, and we hope to see you next week.
Thank you, everyone. See you next week.
Thank you.